and welcome to this episode of Spotlight with Sandhya. If anyone appreciates the importance of how machines talk to each other and their impact on humans, it's today's guest, who's built a very successful technology company. He has an impressive thirst for knowledge and zest for life. He's also the author of a very interesting book, Where Will Man Take Us? Let's welcome to the show Atul Jalan, founder CEO of Manthans Systems. Hi Atul.
Hi Sandhya. Hi everyone. I'm so excited to be here.
Congratulations Atul on the fantastic results that Manthan has announced. 72.1 crore profit. That's 647% increase. How did you manage to do that?
No, nothing, not that we have done anything special, so to say. When the whole pandemic started, Manthan serves consumer-focused businesses, B2C businesses like retail and restaurants. So we thought because of pandemic, people not going out to shop and dine and so on and so forth, our customers would be impacted and so would we be impacted. But on the contrary, what we have seen last 6 to 9 months now, it's almost going to be 9 months, right? Started in February, March. Okay, what we have seen is that this crisis has put the whole all the underlying technology trends, the digital transformation, businesses going online, consumers trend of buying online and so on and so forth on steroids. Okay, and therefore, to the intuitively what we thought that this would be, we were ready to take on some blow, that they would, customers would be pausing some of the contract, there could be possible cancellation. But as I said, this crisis has accelerated some underlying technology trends, has put them on steroids. Businesses, look, we are not meeting in person yet, we're having a tete-a-tete with each other, and so I think we have been a beneficiary of that trend. No, not complaining.
I'm sure you aren't. You've always been ahead of the curve. 15, 16 years ago, when you started Manthan, you predicted that data analytics would be the business of the future. So tell us what would be the next big thing in technology?
Next big thing in technology, I think, look, the Moore's law, which has kind of dictated the explosive growth of our computing power, has run its course. We can't jam any more transistors on that square inch of a chip, but our need for more and more computing power is insatiable, right? So therein comes quantum computing. And look, just to put things in perspective, just in last 10, 15 years, just our mobile phones is by factor of million times smarter than the some supercomputers of 80s and 90s. Think about, and quantum computing was going to improve the computing power by factor of billions over our current computing power. And that I think would lead into, and then coming of artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, biotech would mean there's an explosion of technology. Yes, we would solve for many of the worldly issues, but what I'm most excitedly looking forward to, that these new capabilities is going to also help us solve some of our eternal mysteries. What is the key to eternal happiness? Are we alone in this unfathomable vast space of multiverse universe, or there's somebody else for the company out there? Is this reality of ours real, or is it a make-believe, as Matrix would say, a kind of a Matrix-like simulation? So I think next 5, 10, 15, 20 years are very exciting. Look, all our progress, when you kind of look back, all our progress, we are not the strongest animal in the food chain, right? We are 2.21 on a scale of 5, somewhere between anchovies and pigs. Yet we lord the universe basis of what? Basis of 3, 4 distinctly human capabilities of ours. And one among them is our facility with technology. From opposable thumb to fire wheel, steam engine, electricity, telephone, Google, all have been our invention. All have gone to reshape reinvent, transform our way of life. What I see over next 20, 30 years, I think would be a kind of transformation that only science fictions have imagined so far.
So this book of yours that was published to much acclaim last year, right? I like the premise of it. Though, of course, I quibbled with you over the title. I said you should have made the title gender neutral instead of saying where will man take us. You should have called it where will humans take us. So the tagline, especially the bold story of the man that technology is creating. Referencing that, would you want to change anything in the book? Because the pandemic and its impact on us was unforeseen at that time. Or do you think you've been, blessed with a second sense and you've been able to foresee these kind of things and you've factored some unpredictable occurrences in your book?
No, will I change anything in hindsight? No. In fact, we have only a few minutes today in this conversation. I think, as I said a bit earlier, most of the underlying trends are getting on steroids today. Look, Corona has shut down most things, yet life continues to move on. The show is still on. It's because of technologies. So I think the importance of technology and technology is not anymore external to us. It's not anymore advantageous to us. It is ingrained into us. And I think that realization only gets deeper by day. And coming to your point on it could have been gender neutral. So I really want to say that to my mind, it would have been contrived. If I said, where would human take us? To my mind, sounds like a biology book. So no disrespect meant. It's in a most commonplace sense of speaking man or woman that this title has been chosen. And why I didn't choose the title, Where Will Technology Take Us, is because technology, as we know, is amoral. Technology has no morality of its own. A knife is a knife, but humans are different. We can use that knife to cut salad, to cut a Gordian knot, and if you don't like me enough, cut me with it. So I think it's we humans who first invent stories, and then our technology magically bring those stories to reality. And how we use technology, and therefore the title of the book, Where Will Man Take Us, is solely how we collectively put a new code of ethics and morality around how would we deploy and use our newfound powers, superpowers, and capabilities.
So let's go back to the beginning. What sparked your interest in technology?
What interests me? I think not in any order, three, four things. Number one, as I said a bit earlier, it always fascinates me that we are not the strongest animal in the food chain. I'll repeat again. We are somewhere 2.21, right? On a scale of 5, somewhere between anchovies and pig. Yet, how come we lord the universe? To my mind, as I said, the primary reason for that is, of course, it was started with language, our dexterity with our hands to able to collaborate in large numbers, but largely it is because of technology. And what fascinates me about technology is not only technology as an application of science, but as a way of life. For technology has shaped our way of life from hunter-gatherer to farmer to manufacturer to whatever today and to whatever tomorrow. All of these transformation, okay, epochal transformation, has been triggered by technology. I think that is reason number two. Reason number three, I think, would be, look, I was willy-nilly, I grew up on a very healthy dose of Isaac Asimov, Robert Heinlein, Douglas Adams, Arthur C. Clarke, Margaret Atwood, and I think that fascination has stayed put. And as I said, to me, not technology as the uh, application of science alone, but how it has dictated all our social institutions, our idea of democracy, our idea of freedom, of idea of money, job, everything to my mind has been dictated by technology. Why even the idea of religion, God changes with the changes in technology? Hunter-gatherers were worshipping one kind of God. Farmers were worshipping pantheon of God. You know, in wake of steam engine, electricity, industrial revolution, okay, the civilizational core needed a more monotheistic God. So that is, and so the far-reaching impact of technology, and to my mind, technology is us. I repeat again, technology is not outside of us. And what is happening with the current new emerging set of technologies is so far all our technological achievements. Think about car, tractor, plane, elevator, escalator, plier, lever, think any, okay, cycle, bike, motorcycle, they all expanded our extrinsic reach, our muscular capabilities, as it were. Now our technologies are merging with our biology. And to me, it changes everything. It changes the very evolutionary codes of human beings, and moving forward, our evolution would not be natural and probabilistic and random. It would be designed and deterministic. So these aspects of technology, as I said, technology is us. I cannot imagine Homo sapien outside of technology. I think we would have been extinct.
Let's talk about your evolution as an entrepreneur. What first sparked the fire in you to become an entrepreneur? And then you've gone on to become a serial entrepreneur. How did that come about?
I've always had a mixed feeling. In fact, kind of a distaste for the word serial. I would choose a lifelong entrepreneur. And look, I'll answer your question, but I truly want to, admit here that it's only in retrospect that I have been able to put things together. What made me an entrepreneur? I've not seen any other life. Manthan, my current gig, is my fourth technology venture. And looking back, I think what made me an entrepreneur are two things. Number one, I think my fierce sense of independence. Okay, and I don't think I would have been able to articulate and understand myself better at the stage, at an age when I started my first venture. But of course, looking back, I know that had been the singular biggest driving force behind my entrepreneurial career, if you will. The second thing is whether through a very structured thought process or otherwise, I think I realized pretty early, relatively, if you will, than a lot of people I see around, what's my source of motivation? What gives me joy? And to me, it was creating, whether it's writing a book or, taking an idea to fruition in terms of a technology venture or any enterprise. I think that truly gives me a purpose, identity, and joy. And I guess that's what makes me an entrepreneur.
Okay, you balance your interest in maths and data and science. You also write poetry, and I'm going to come back to that. You cycle, you ski. How do you find time for all this? And I keep reading your blog and your articles.
I'm just fascinated with life, coming to technology and science, every day new realization, new discovery, new invention. To me, it looks as if though we live in rational world, I am part of some magic realism. I'm a more spontaneous kind of person. I don't say I'm going to work for 8 hours and this would be my time to play mouth organ and this is my time to exercise and this is my family time. I don't think I break things down to that kind of rule. I just go, as I said, I to my mind, when you have a lot of plan and a lot of structure, you might tick in more boxes, but that takes away something from the beauty of every minute. You seem to be chasing something every minute as opposed to living every minute.
So you started something called Soda Bahut. What is this project or initiative?
I just wanted to not look back at this time and think that, I'm a capable person and I should have and could have done something and I didn't. And that thought led me to Thoda Bahut, which is a community initiative. The idea is, local intervention. Okay, because to leave everything to government, any government in a situation like this, I don't think is going to work. I don't think is a fair expectation as well. I think the civil society has to come forward. So we put up this community outreach program, and we have been serving for last 8 months, some 3 clusters. So we have been serving daily wage earners.
Is there another book? Have you been, inspired to start work on another book?
Yes. So what last this 2, 3, 4 months, I think for most of us, there is terrible side of Corona. But if there was a good side to it, then I think it has given a lot of us some me time. For me also, life has been, I only realized in this last 6, 7, 8, 9 months, honestly, how busy I have been. Because it took me almost 2 to 3 months to catch up my breath. I didn't realize. I don't know if I make sense to you, but I just couldn't. I mean, it only when this was forced upon me, I realized how busy my life has been. I mean, both physically, emotionally, it has been intense. Mentally, I'm in a bubble. So the good thing that this last 6, 7, 8, 9 months did was I had few books floating, and I had made some progress with 4 or 5 different, and they were so very different, very topic from each other. I think I have finally made my mind on what next I'll pursue. So yes, there is a second book, and I've been working at it for a while.
So I also heard that you've written a poem inspired by the lockdown. Can I request you to recite it or read out a few lines?
Don't do this to your viewers. You want them to love you, right? So don't do this to your viewers, Sandhya. But I'll tell you about the poem. No, it's all started with in the initial months of the lockdown. The every day and week would look the same, right? Because it was not marked by, otherwise it's punctuated and marked by weekend and some event and the other hand. And I really was wondering, is this a time distortion happening only to me? I just had no sense of time per se. One week, one day looked pretty much similar to the next day. One week looked similar to the next week, and so on. So that made me think about time. If you start thinking about it, time, as we know, is such a interesting topic for physics, and it's such a metaphysical topic as well. Time is just construct in our head, is a concept, not a physical thing to say, so to say. And that what made me write this poem as to where does this time comes from and where does it flow. And so that was the poem about. I'll publish it, or I'll link it. I'll link the poem to wherever you post this video, Sandhya.
Wonderful. So that would be really nice. I'm sure people would enjoy reading it. And
Sure.
I know you've been very busy, and thank you so much for taking the time to appear on Spotlight with Sandhya Atul.
Absolutely, Sandhya. Enjoyed doing it. Take care.
And to our viewers, thank you for watching. Please do comment, share, and like this video. You can also listen to this interview as a podcast on Spotify. Until I'm back again with another interesting guest, take care. Bye-bye.